Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Gears 12 here, and I am back with another new album review today. Today I'm reviewing As I Lay Dying's new album, Awakened. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, so what's the track listing and the personnel? Well, that is in the description, so if you want to know all the track listing, all the songs that are on the record, or you want to know, and or whatever, you want to know who played on the record, that'll be in the description, so you can find all that good stuff. Or you can just Google it or Wikipedia it. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, so if you want to know that stuff, it's in the description. So, yeah, I heard the album about a good 3-4 times on a stream, and man, I gotta tell you guys, this album just really made me remember why I love this band so much. One case thing that really one main thing really that I really do enjoy from this band, that this album reassured me and made me remember why I love this band so much, is because the band can write in 3 different ways. They can write simple stuff, which means simple type riffs, stuff like that, but it's really good. Not saying anything, it's not bad. They can write simple stuff. Middle stuff might take people a few days, maybe a week to learn some of the riffs, maybe. To really complicated stuff, that's going to take people a while to, jam along with the band on the new record if they wanted to do that on guitar, bass, or drums. But anyways, back to the album. So I have a little cheat sheet, and the reason why I have a little cheat sheet, not because I'm saying stuff that other people said, is basically I wrote the stuff down because these are a few songs that I do want to bring up, because there's just certain sections on this album that blew me away completely, took me to another level of blowing me away from the music point of it, because I'm a guitar player and I really understand how hard that if it's hearing a riff and understanding, well, that has to be hard, and looking at tabs, blah blah blah. But there were some musical moments that I had to write down, and so I can remember to bring it up in this review, because these few points that I'm about to say really stood out to me. On top of everything that did stand out, this stood out more than anything else for me personally on the record. The first thing was on the song Defender. There's a middle section where it's a repeated guitar little note thing, and it's getting repeated over and over and over, and it's just getting repeating, and people are like, well, that might sound annoying, but it was overlaying on a simplistic alternate picking riff. I basically think they're just open note picking the riff, and there's double bass behind it, of course, and I guess the bass is following it as well. But that little note repeated thing that blew me away, because it sounded so simple to write that, but it sounded so amazing to me as a guitar player to hear that and go, man, that sounds really good. It sounds easy. I bet I could learn the tab, blah blah blah. But that part really stood out for me. The second part is Overcome, which I think is probably one of my favorite tracks off the album, of course, because not because of the title Overcome, oh yeah, we're gonna overcome. The intro on that track blew me away because it was different than the other intros to all the other songs. It started off with acoustic guitar, really melodic solo, and it had it's really beautiful intro thing that is set in, and of course then it hits you with the heavy stuff that we know to come from As I Lay Dying. But that intro blew me away. I'm like, wow, this is really, really good. And I'm thinking, at first when I first started hearing it, I'm like, oh man, are they actually going to do a ballad with the singer, actually the actual clean vocalist actually sing a track? And that wasn't the case. But if As I Lay Dying does that, that's going to be really different. I'll like that, because that intro to Overcome blew me away. And then also on top of the beautiful intro on Overcome, I think Overcome, to me personally, has one of my favorite solos on the album. That solo was really soulful to me in a way, and it just really stood out among the other solos. Yeah, the other solos on the album are really over the top, and they're really crazy. I mean, I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying is, compared to the Overcome solo, in my opinion, I really enjoyed that. That was just something that just really stood out for me. Washed Away, which is the 1-minute instrumental, it was very simple. There wasn't really a lot going on. It was just a simple little riff thing going on with a little bit fade in, fade out guitar. Simple, very good. It was a great lead into My Only Home, which is a great track. And, basically that was just the key points. Now, for the rest of the album the other songs that I didn't bring up, I guess I can put this down here. But to the other tracks I didn't mention, I mean, all the songs in the album just kept making me remember and love why I just enjoy this band. I mean, every single song brought back a memory from an older song, or just maybe think, this is why I love this band. Because the band keeps giving the same type of stuff, but they always come up with newer ways to say it, or new ways to play it, as I say. Because in the world of melodic death metal, there's a lot of bands that do it, and a lot of bands that album 3, 4, 5, it gets kind of boring or repetitive to some people maybe, because Like we've heard this type of style of song on the first record. For me, is As I Lay Dying. Some people might reference like, well, Overcome sounds like a song off of the second record or something like that, or they might say, oh, My Only Home. Oh, there's a riff in there that sounds like a riff from the third record or something like that. But for me personally, each track I heard either it didn't really cross my mind like, oh, that sounds like this from from this band, or this sounds like a song they did before. Just like every single song made me just remember why I love the band, and just the way that they write As I Lay Dying, as the way they write especially for this album, just really just blew my mind. There's not a lot of stuff in this album that's gonna make people go, oh my god, this is the greatest stuff ever. Then there might be to some people, well, I've already heard this type of stuff before, so why should I even bother? For me personally, if I had the money, oh yeah, I'd go buy it for sure. I mean, the album is worth buying in my opinion. I mean, yeah, I heard it on stream. I didn't go illegally download it, but to me personally, I would buy the record because the record is that good. I feel like that As I Lay Dying just is proving to their fans and to new people who are getting into metal or something like that or haven't heard them, this album would prove that they still have it. They still have the way to write the music. They still have the way to put out amazing quality melodic death metal, melodic metal. I mean, there's thrash elements, metalcore, blah, 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 whatever people want to throw that in. But I just feel like this album just made me remember why I love As I Lay Dying. Because I remember listening to their records, back 5-6 years ago. I remember hearing that stuff for the first time going, man, this band's amazing. I remember the first time I heard As I Lay Dying, I was just, my friend was like, hey, listen to this. I didn't even know what the band was called. He didn't even tell me. And I loved the band. And then he told me, As I Lay Dying. I looked up their stuff. Amazing. And this album just brings me back memories of listening to the band the very first time I heard them. Made me go, man, I love this band. This is awesome. Just this album reassured it for me. Production quality on this album, there's not really to complain about. At first, the very first track opening up, I can't remember off the top of my head. It's the single that they released. I'm pretty sure it's got a weird name. Probably why I can't remember it. The scream, kind of like at first when he did the scream at the very beginning, it like blew it kind of like overlaid all the other tracks for like a few seconds. I'm like, I can't hear anything. I can't hear the guitars, can't hear the drums that much. But then, of course, it settled and feels like everything is placed right on the album. I mean, some people are like, well, the drums could have been put up a little bit better. For me personally, as a person who loves music and a person who plays music and really has listened to a lot of metal in my lifetime, basically, I would have to say that this album production quality is pretty good for what it is. I mean, there's nothing really to complain about, as I said. To anybody that doesn't know As I Lay Dying and basically is just watching this to find out what the band is, basically this album is just going to give you a lot of melodic death metal moments, a lot of, people say metalcore. There's a lot of thrash elements on this album as well. But basically you're just going to get a band that has amazing quality writing style. And some people might get bored of it because it basically just, it's just repeated stuff. But I feel like this band has just grown over the years and basically have kept that same style of writing, but they've improved on how to write it and how to put it out and how to make it sound as it does. And on this album, it sounds really good. So that is a review, guys. I really did enjoy the record. If I had to give it a rating, I would say an easy 8.75, maybe a 9 out of 10. I'm not really, into rating that much, but I'll do it if I have to do it. But that's basically the rating. So if you like the video, and you subscribe for more metal videos. And before I go, because I totally skipped over it, comment down below and let me know what your favorite track is, or what your favorite track overall of As I Lay Dying, or if you don't know the band, just go check out the album. It's really good. You can check it out on stream, all that good stuff. So basically, guys, that's the review. Like I said, like the video and subscribe for more metal videos and reviews and all that good stuff. So I'll see you guys soon.